In this section, we'll go over any miscellaneous things that didn't really deserve a section all to itself. First up is adjusting RBIs. The software is generally good with RBIs, but every now and then you'll need to make a manual adjustment. Most of the time, this will occur on a play involving an error. For instance, here, Dorda reaches on an error by the second baseman, but because the second baseman didn't try to make a play at the plate, the run would have scored even without the error. So, the official scorer gives Dorda an RBI. However, you see that Dorda is missing an RBI when checking the box score. To make the adjustment, right-click on Dorda's ball in play. Now, we see an option for runs, since a run scored on the play. Hold your mouse over that, and then on the right it has the name of the player scoring the run, which is necessary because sometimes multiple players score a run on the same play. Hold your mouse over that, and you will see some options. The fourth one concerns RBIs. There is no check mark before RBI to Melvin Dorda, so we're not crediting Dorda with an RBI here. Simply click RBI to Melvin Dorda to award the RBI. If you go back into this menu, you can see the RBI is now assigned. Earned runs are impossible to always get right, as it's often up to the official scorer's interpretation whether a run is earned or unearned. Therefore, you will often need to adjust earned and unearned runs. For instance, here, Ransom's run is marked as unearned, but the official scorer calls it earned since there are no outs and the second baseman didn't try to make a play on the runner scoring, so the run would have scored even if no error was committed. Right-click Dorda's ball in play, and then mouse over Runs, and then Cody Ransom. The first three options concern earned runs. Both earned indicates the run is earned to both the pitcher and the team, while pitcher earned means the run is only earned to the pitcher, and team earned means the run is only earned to the team. Since none of these have a check mark before them, the run is currently unearned. The vast majority of the time, if a run is earned to the pitcher, it's also earned to the team, so you should only have to click both earned when making a change, except in a very rare situation. I click both earned, and now you can see the software says Ransom's run is earned. Good plays will get entered at the end when you see the final confirmation screen. For instance, here we see Andy Tracy flew out to the right fielder. Let's say the right fielder made a good play here. We hit the GFP button and select the right fielder. You'll get the final confirmation screen again in case you need to do anything else. This time, select No More Events, and you're done. Entering a catcher block is an easy thing to take care of. Earlier, you might have seen that you can assign a catcher block by using dependent event. However, catcher blocks occur often enough that we felt there should be a way to enter them quicker. At the bottom is a box labeled Catcher Block that you should select before entering a pitch that was a catcher block. You can select this either by clicking the box or by using the period key on the number pad. Let's say the first pitch to Hoover is a ball that was a catcher block. So I select Catcher Block, and then I enter the ball. As you can see, the catcher block is recorded. I strongly urge everyone to check out the complete written definition of a catcher block in the handbook. I'm not going to repeat that definition here, but it spells out objectively what we're trying to keep track of here. We have recently expanded the definition of a shift hit. We now have distinctions between extreme overshifts, like what you would see for a guy like David Ortiz, and other situations such as when the infield is playing in. Please consult the handbook for complete written definitions. Here, we're going to give you a visual example for each of the 4 possible ways a shift can be categorized.
The 2-pitch on the ground, just serves it against the shift and into left. A single for David Ortiz aboard here in the first inning.
This is an obvious example of a traditional shift affected play. Due to the overshift, the third base position is unoccupied, and Ortiz hit a routine grounder right to the normal position of the third baseman. That becomes a hit.
His attention will go from Andy Pettitte and A.J. Burnett and others of the Yankees to Aaron Rodgers.
That's right. Here is out number 2.
We can see an overshift is on as 3 players are on the right side of the infield. However, in this example, Ortiz hits a routine grounder to first that is at the normal position of the first baseman. Therefore, the play would have still been made by the first baseman even without the shift, so we call this a traditional shift unaffected play.
And there's a base hit. So they're going to hold Lillibridge at third. The strike zone. Francona comes out. That's going to be it for Beckett. Leave the base.
I wanted to show the replay at the end because you can clearly see the infield in, so a non-traditional shift applies. The only question is whether the play was affected or not. This is clearly affected though, as the shortstop came close to making the play by diving, even while playing in, so if he was back at his normal position, he should have been able to field the ball.
Patterson into center field. From third base comes Hall. Red Sox a walk-off for the win from Fenway.
Here, you can clearly see the infield in, so we know that there's a non-traditional shift. This one is unaffected because it was a hard shot right back through the middle, so even if the second baseman was playing at his normal spot, he wouldn't have been able to get to that ball. The last thing we'll cover in this section is wall balls. There are 2 types of wall balls, ones that are within reach and those that are out of reach. Wall balls that are within reach are much more common simply because our definition of within reach is that an outfielder could have caught it if he was back and in position to make the play. Basically, this means that if you can rob a home run at a wall, that you can't have a wall ball that is out of reach. We'll show 2 examples next of each type of wall ball.
This is driven to deep left field. Back goes Hall. That is off the top of the scoreboard. Hall quickly plays it as Crawford is into second base standing.
Straightaway center field. Victorino on the run with his back to the infield. That one is off the wall and it shoots away from Victorino. Maben can fly and he's on his way to third and he'll get there sliding.
In the first example, the ball hit off the wall above the scoreboard on the green monster. This is too high for an outfielder to jump up and make the play, so it's out of reach. In the second example, the ball hit midway up a 6-foot wall in center field, which is clearly within reach if the center fielder had been playing deeper.